Recently, things have not exactly been going in Disney's favor. 2023 is known as the year of the flopbuster, and a lot of those flops actually belong to Disney. They've also been hit with several lawsuits, one from Gina Carano. Now they're being sued for their DEI practices. Apparently another lawsuit is dropping, and now, well, Disney is just being Disney because they can't take responsibility for their failures. They can't have any accountability for their bad decision making. Instead, what do? In typical Disney fashion that we've seen over the last 8 years, they blame the paying customer. Now, there are a couple of articles that are covering this. This one coming from Hollywood and Toto, which is Chris Toto's site. Disney exec blames woes on racist, sexist fans. And we also have this one from That Park Place, written by John F. Trent. Disney executives say moviegoers that criticize the company's agenda want movies that conform to regressive gender stereotypes. That's right, folks, you heard that correctly. If it wasn't for the fact that there was a bunch of racist and sexist paying customers, Disney would have been raking in the cash, and it had absolutely nothing to do with the fact that, well, they've just been producing a bunch of garbage content for the last couple of years and people are sick of paying for it. And obviously there are several other issues here, like the fact that they've been injecting intersectional feminism into what has been previously considered to be male brands, much like Star Wars and Marvel. And it doesn't mean that women can't enjoy these things. Obviously, I've said this before in previous videos. Women like these things the way they are, and you don't need to change it to accommodate them. And also, it's not a bad thing to have male-only or male-centered franchises. There's nothing wrong with that. Just look at Barbie. That's a female-centric franchise, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It made a lot of money. In the early days of the MCU, it made a lot of money as well because it catered to the male audience. But again, Kevin Feige came out in 2018 saying there's going to be a larger focus on female characters. Of course, I don't have an issue with adding more female characters as long as it's not freaking intersectional feminism that is being interjected into my entertainment. In recent years, when I think of strong female characters in a movie, I can't help but think of Kill Bill. The bride was a badass character and nobody complained about her. Why is that? Well, it's simple. These were fun, entertaining movies, and they didn't have any kind of intersectional feminism or identity politics injected into the movies. It was simply there to entertain and not lecture the audience. Puck writer Matthew Bellani wrote an article last Thursday documenting how the Walt Disney Company's favorability has declined among Americans in a poll conducted by Quorum. The poll found that Disney had the highest unfavorability rating among other blue chip companies. It clocked in with a 21% unfavorable score. Comparatively, Sony had the lowest with just a 5% unfavorable score. And quite frankly, I'm kind of surprised that it's not higher amongst Republicans. I figured that would be like maybe 70% and maybe 50 to 60% amongst independents. I can only assume that just there's not enough people paying attention. Pollster David Heron shared his thoughts on these results, stating, while conservatives give Disney a higher unfavorables, it's not perceived wokeness that keeps people from theaters. The more immediate issues facing the entire industry, not just Disney, is the quality of content and the price of moviegoing. And a really good example of what David Heron is talking about is the movie Madam Web. I saw it at a matinee and I paid $17 to see this movie, and it was literally garbage tier. The movie was awful, but a matinee charging $17 to go and see the movie is a f***ing crime. I will certainly argue that DEI, intersectional feminism, and identity politics definitely does contribute to the content quality problem. It doesn't make a movie or TV show entertaining. It just makes it preachy and annoying and a huge turnoff. In response to the article, an anonymous Disney executive informed Bellani that fans are to blame for Disney's film's bombing. So here's the Twitter post that was made by Sonny Bunch. I love this, from Matt Bellani's newsletter. Disney cannot fail. It can only be failed by the mouth-breathing bigots who refuse to acknowledge the greatness of their films.
Sheer fucking hubris.
Everyone says, it's the movie, stupid. And that's because it is. When you go and you create an inferior product and word gets out that your movie's horrible and it's filled with a bunch of lecturing and it's not fun, guess what? people are not going to go see it. Shocker. Which is an easy thing for people to say. Come on, dude, this isn't rocket surgery. If people don't like something, they're going to say it. More appealing movies are a great way to jump into the political issues, but more and more our audience, or the segment of the audience that has been politicized, equate perceived messaging in a film as a quality issue. Yes, messaging is a part of the quality issue. People go and spend money on movies to be entertained and have fun rather than being lectured to. They won't say they find female empowerment distasteful in the Marvels or Star Wars, the latest trilogy starring Daisy Ridley, but they will say they don't like those movies because they are bad. If I wanted to be told how much of a terrible human being I am for being a male, I would simply go and take a gender studies course. That's not what I want from a movie. I want to laugh, I want to have fun, and I want to see people go and kick some ass. So make better movies has become code for make movies that conform to regressive gender stereotypes or put men front and center in the narrative. Holy shit, what a revelation. Men don't want to see male characters as sniveling, weak, beta male cowards. Go figure. Yes, I want to see strong male characters. And it doesn't mean we can't have strong female characters as well. But the thing is, you have to recognize that men and women are different and they want different things. Nobody complained about Black Widow. Nobody complained about Scarlet Witch. Those characters were fine up till recently when they started going and wrecking them. The issues, what Disney has been doing, is that they've been denigrating their male characters to go and try and uplift the female ones, and that's a problem. Which is what we're seeing now, and what Bob Iger's pivot is about right now. A Disney executive. I find it rather asinine that it is some form of revelation that a male-oriented franchise should cater to a male audience. It is absolutely ridiculous. And then when they don't do it, they should expect pushback. Because again, if you try and turn a boys brand into a girls brand, it's not gonna work. You're just gonna piss off your male audience, and women aren't gonna show up. We saw this with the Marvels. The majority of the people that saw it were dudes. And the majority of people who saw Barbie were women. It's as if we have different interests. Go figure. And like I pointed out in one of my previous videos, other companies are catching on to the fact that male-oriented franchises should cater to a male audience. And there's nothing wrong with that. And Disney, of all companies, will always be the last one to figure that out. And most likely, by the time that happens, it will be too late. And this line from Christian Toto's article really does sum things up. Come see our film, Mr. and Mrs. Racist. Because when you go and you call your audience racist and sexist, they are not going to give you their money. And the response is going to be,
go yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob.
Anyway, folks, that is my take. What is yours? Leave your comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it. And if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. There's another video popping up right about now, and I'll catch you next time.